Hi. Hi, Roxy. Welcome to Stories of Creativity. My guest today, Roxy Angel Superstar, is a vibrant, passionate, inspiring being. Roxy's warm and welcoming friendship lifted me when I was in the midst of a dark time. She's been through her share of hardship too, and like me, she has befriended her creativity and used it to carry her through to brighter days. I know you'll be inspired by Roxy's consciously creative life.
Creativity is not just a visual piece of art. It's how you live your life. It's how you allow something to be birthed or come into being, and trusting that this choice is going to wind up somewhere beautiful. My husband, he passed away in 2009, but I stayed in the house 3 years. I just fell into a huge funk. But I tell you what kept me afloat, what kept me semi-sane. And I say semi because I work 18 hours a day in this creative field. I discovered a game, or a creator's game, called Second Life, which is a virtual reality world.
Okay.
And what I did is I created body shapes and clothing for the virtual world. From 2008 until 2010. And I was just grinding at it. And it wasn't making that much money at all. But I spent a lot of money on assets to create this stuff. But it was what kept me. I would get up, because I couldn't sleep that much. So 18 hours a day in there. I had friends. Yeah. And I was just climbing the wall, and I just get up and I just create like a machine.
How fun. Wow.
It was fun because it was like, that's how I became Roxy. Roxy, the Gare was my name in, the game. And I said, oh yeah, I'm Roxy of War. And, and so when I finally realized that, hey, I spent maybe $30,000 in this freaking game. And I'm like, I'm not making much of it back. And the creativity kept me sane, and I loved it. But I was like, this is no way to, I'm just withdrawn from life. And I'm kind of like, in fact, my housemate's like, God, you never were out of your room. And, I just kind of like, so I finally realized I needed to connect with people again. So that's how I wound up at Center of the Heart. I looked up I'm like, where is the nearest religious science church? And that was it. And I went there, and I just began the process of healing. And I always thought that I came to life when I met my husband. And because I was more me, and he was acceptance and love. It was a truly love match. And it was like the fulfillment of my girlish dreams, blah, blah, blah. That's when I came to Santa Barbara County. But, and so when he died, it felt like a part of me was gone, because I found myself, we were like psychic with each other. That's how good we were. And but I realized that was when I was a caterpillar. And then when I went to Center of the Heart, like maybe the first 5 to 7 years there, I was, in the Chrysalis, and I was finding out who I was, rediscovering who I was without my mate. And so that time I got to try a lot of things creatively. I got to be a DJ. I got to plan parties. I got to step into leadership. I facilitated classes. I used to do drum circles. I used to have a monthly meeting there where we meet. And sometimes I could get people to come out to the bluffs with me and do sacred ritual and connect that way. I mean, I just totally, in the spiritual container, it morphed from just something I was going to connect with people and learn more about the divinity within, to something that I developed all of my interests. This life creative that I've got there is wonderful, because I've been able to access all those parts of me. And then after I was going there, I used to say, you're going to do something every year creative.
Oh,
Some big, something that's going to push you.
okay.
So so one year I was in the vaginamonologues.
Cool. Okay.
One year I was a dancer in the solsticeparade.
Nice.
Every year I would just take on something that was a little bit, pushed me a little bit further.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that. It's
Yes.
a really conscious development of your creativity by challenging your previous limits and breaking out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Smart. I like that.
I just didn't want to live a small life, even if my life doesn't set the world on fire. I just want to be able to advance higher and higher to a higher vibration of whoever I am. Whatever I came here to do, I want to be that and do that and not have any excuses. My father used to say, as we passed by cemeteries, say that's the place where all the riches of the world is. People who died not writing their manuscripts, people who didn't get to do what they wanted to do. And I don't want to be that. I don't want to have any boxes unmarked. I wrote a book one year after Jason died.
You didn't know
I
that?
crack up.
Wow.
I know. And it's not even the book that I actually do want to write. It's just, it was a tribute to my husband and our union. And
like a way to process the grief, maybe?
Yes.
Smart.
Process the grief. Yeah. One year I went back to college, and I'm like 3 classes away from an AA degree. I tried to learn Korean.
Wow.
And that was just not going to happen.
I admire you for trying, though. Most people wouldn't go there. That's awesome. That'd be intimidating for sure. So what's the book that you want to write? I'm curious. Or you don't have to talk about it if that's maybe something you're holding.
Well, I've been wondering. I don't know. It's like, when I was a kid, I wanted to write. I used to write poetry, and I used to read romance novels. I freaking love romance novels. And they probably ruined me, as far as my expectations of what life was. They probably they were just like so much misogyny, craft up, and probably most of the people who wrote them that I was following. Like, I used to get my people knew. I used to work in the library when I was in school, so the women would pass big bags full of Harlequin romances around and stuff. So when I was younger, me and my cousin, we wanted to write a story and set it to music, modern music. And this was back in probably the late 70s. And guess what came up? We never followed through on that, but Moulin Rouge was what it was.
You
that
had
was
the idea for Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, we had the idea many years ago. Yeah.
That's funny. That's like what Sky was telling me. Do you remember when he said he had
yes, an ideal
idea?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't jump on it, it will go to someone else. I truly believe that. Yeah. It's going to be birth. Every idea is going to be birth. It may not be mean to you, but I think, I had ideas of writing, like, I guess a self-help book or something like that. And I actually have an outline on a computer, on a drive somewhere for it. And then I realized that I was unformed, and a lot of it was just regurgitated stuff that it wasn't my truth. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, whatever I wind up writing, I do want it to be a romance, but I'm just not sure when it's going to happen. When am I going to make time for that to happen? Because right now I'm like loving hanging out with my family. Mm-hmm. And as far as my 5x5x5 goal of getting my 5 videos up, I have 2 in the hopper, but I haven't done it. I do have 1 video up, maybe 2. Okay, but there's some part of me that doesn't want to put myself all the way out there yet.
What is holding you back from sharing those new videos?
Well, I don't know. It is sort of like the vulnerability factor is, I feel like once you put it out there, it's out there forever.
Yeah.
And it is, which is like, was so, bravo and bright for your bravery of doing this. Because I'm not even showing myself in my videos, so there's no reason. Yeah. There's no reason. But when I guess when I do put it out and I look at it and I know that this is the message that I wanted to put out, this is the tone, this is representing, this feels God inspired, this feels like the truth. Mm-hmm. Then I can let it go. And until I feel that way, that's when it goes. I can't rush it. Yeah.
That's good. That's what so I've had a lot of trouble with the same thing. And yes, it is a really big step for me to be here doing this right now. I didn't even used to feel comfortable putting written posts on social media for a long time. So I really understand that. And I think a lot of people relate to that struggle. So that's kind of why I wanted to probe a little bit and, find out, what do you need to arrive at a point where you feel safe and feel comfortable and feel confident putting something out like the one that I watched, your last one that I really loved?
Well, what happened with that one is I took a break from my work at Centered Art, and I actually filmed the tarot part there because it's quiet. But I have been caught up in other responsibilities, like with my family. So I haven't been able to access that part of myself because, like I said, my tentacles are all out and I haven't wound them back in. And so I haven't found that magic time. But right now, it's more feeding me and giving to myself creatively than it is to create the message stuff that I'm trying to share right now.
Great point. And those are 2 different things, aren't they? Like feeding your own spirit so that you have something in your creative well to share, and then sharing it and crafting that creation.
I am an artist of my life, not just an artist in a form that is visual. I try the arts with just artful living, and creative beingness. And I have a friend who is driven, about creation and stuff. And I'm glad because she's retired. She can do that. But I'm not retired. So my creativity has to be in the choices I make and the job I do. I actually create visual art for the service and in the form of digital stuff.
Right.
There's a creativity aspect to just my work. So
Nice.
my creative projects, I'm trying to bring that more in the front burner instead of in the back burner because it is an expression of myself, But lately, like I'm a practitioner, a licensed practitioner. That's what that says.
Right on.
And so, in addition to my job duties, I facilitate a weekly group on Friday mornings at 11. As a practitioner, once a month or every other month, I wind up doing prac duty, which is when I get up there and I do a off the top of my head prayer for the moment. It's invocation prayer. And then for when I need a boost of my faith, I use something called Insight Timer, which is an app that has a lot of creative people just sharing their gifts. When I need a moment to remember who I want to be and who I really am, I'll attend one of their things and it'll calm me down and get me back. And then when on the way in during my drive, I may make up a song off the top of my head, and I sometimes record into my iPhone and just talk to myself. And if a creative idea comes, I'll record it real quick. To be continued.
Nice. Yes, I do the same thing, especially with song fragments. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I meet with an accountability partner. She tells me her goals and I tell her my goals. And we have a spreadsheet where we once a month go through it to see what we've ticked off on that Google Doc. I want to create my own tarot deck.
Oh, fun.
Well, that's that'd be really fun. That's a long-term goal.
Huge project.
And I had at the beginning of this year, I was going to attend an online art class so that I could draw every week, a card, or something. Well, that was on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. And sometimes I'm just not in that mood. So, but I know that that's out there for me, and that goal is still worthy, and I just have to press out the end date on that. I wanted to also create like a slideshow, but I like to have kind of a pre-meditation slideshow where I have like a lot of beautiful images and some quotes. And so I do slap that together every week. And then I can set a mood before we start our meditation, and that the people out in the Zoom who come early can see that. Now, whether or not it's unheralded, thing, but that's how I add a little zhuzh over my mundane.
You put a lot of creative effort into your job, don't you? I see that.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Thank you so much for watching. Part 2 will be coming out soon. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Have a beautiful day with your creativity, my friend. See you next time. Bye.